Okay. Looks like we're rolling. I'll ask my first one is just, can you tell me a little bit about your background and your experience?
Certainly. My name's Jim Lucas. I'm running for state representative for District 69. I'm from Seymour. I'm a lifelong member of Emmanuel Lutheran Church. I've been married for 18 years, have 3 children, and most recently we have our first grandson born last week. I graduated from Seymour High School, went on to join the United States Marine Corps, did not go to college, finished up my tour in the Corps, and came back, worked in Seymour, and 13 years ago started our own business, The Awning Guy, and we've been doing that ever since. Small business owner. I currently have 12 people employed, so I know how to create jobs. In 2007, I got a little bit fed up with local politics, and I decided to run for Seymour City Council. We were elected that year and ran again last year and was reelected. But one of the things I found out and discovered being associated with politics is those that aren't into politics are governed by those who are. And one voice speaking out from within can really make a lot of changes. They can bring a lot of attention to what's going on in our community, and they can affect change in a positive way. So I would like to continue doing that, all except at the state level, and that's one of the reasons I'm running, is my experience as a small business owner. I know what it takes to create jobs. All businesses have a commonality. It's either income or expense, and these principles apply to businesses that have 10 people or 1 million people. You have to keep an eye on your expenses, and government does not create jobs, but they certainly can hinder the creation of jobs. What government needs to do is to create an atmosphere that's conducive to job creation. They have to keep taxes low. They have to keep the environment consistent. They cannot be all over the place, up and down. It's very hard. It's difficult the way it is to run a business. But if you have to fight government with a constantly changing atmosphere, taxes up one year, they're down the next. They're handing out abatements. They aren't handing out abatements. That makes it even more challenging. An educated workforce is a must. And that's why schools are obviously a primary issue, not just in job creation, but society as a whole. I'm a firm believer in school choice, and that is not an indictment on the people, the men and women that we have teaching in our public education system. I actually am a huge supporter of them. I think we have some of the finest men and women among society today that are in the teaching profession. But it's the system itself that I think is it's not working anymore. We've had reports come out recently that the SAT reading comprehension test is actually lower than what it was from 1972. It's gone back 33 points. The math test has increased, but it's only increased by 5 points. Now, when you look at the numbers, the test that we actually use to gauge our progress on, we're failing. Now, take into consideration that our education system, K through 12, consumes 48% of our state budget. The teacher pensions consume 5%, and higher education consumes 12%. That's 2/3 of our budget is dedicated towards education. Now, compare that with the I-STEP scores and the graduation rates and the higher education graduation rates, and it does not appear to be a very good return on investment. What I would like to do is to free up our teachers and give them the latitude and the freedom to do their job. Let teachers teach. Give parents the choice. That way, with parental choice, the accountability and responsibility falls more on the parents' shoulders. Too many teachers are being tasked today with too many impossible tasks. Raise the child, teach the child everything, babysit the child. If anything goes wrong, the teacher gets blamed. I don't buy into that. We have to put the responsibility where it lies, and that's with the parent. But with that being said, we have to give them the freedom of choice. So obviously job creation, education are two very high points. One of my passions on city council is tackling government waste and inefficiency. I have a proven track record for the last 5+ years of taking these issues on and speaking out against them. many a time I've been the one in a 1 in 6 vote voting no on projects. But when I vote no, I'm not up there just saying no. I will sit there and I tell the crowd and the council I'm going to vote no. This is why I'm going to vote no, and then I offer solutions. I'm not just saying no. I was raised that if you're going to have a complaint, have a solution. So I'm very proactive in that regard. I am a very passionate supporter of our gun rights, individual gun rights. We have the endorsement of the NRA. But with great rights come great responsibilities. Anybody that abuses these rights need to be held fully accountable for their actions. But I'm constitutional conservative. I believe in life, liberty, property, the rule of law. But we also have personal responsibilities along with those rights.
You've touched on a number of my other questions, and let me just bring those up. And if you have anything else to add, feel free to add those in. I ask a question about any of your top priorities, and you kind of mentioned some of those in the first question.
Yes. Obviously, top priority right now is jobs. We have to get good-paying jobs to Indiana. Recently, there was a very controversial right-to-work bill that was passed. Too early to tell how that's going to pan out, but seeing around how it has played out across the nation, I know a lot of the southern states are attracting new industry. A lot of foreign automakers are going down there building brand new plants. Boeing recently migrated to, I believe, South Carolina, North Carolina, opened up a new $750 million manufacturing plant, 4,000 jobs once that's up and running. And some people call it the right to work for less. I don't buy into that. To me, it's freedom. It's worker freedom, giving the employee the choice of whether they want to join a union or not. That being said, I'm not anti-union, but I don't believe that a group should have the protection of law over another group. Level playing field and choice, individual choice. That decision should be up between the employer and the employee.
That kind of goes into my next question, which was about
perfect segue. Am I leading you?
Yeah, I think so.
Great.
How would you choose as and what can you do as a state legislature or a state legislator to help create jobs? And you kind of mentioned a little bit.
Stay out of the way. Job creators. Who knows how to create jobs better than job creators? As a small business owner for 13 years. The NFIB has recognized small business owners as those with 50 employees or less as employing approximately half of America's workforce and creating 75% of the new jobs. Okay. Now, the more rules and regulations that I have to abide by, jump through hoops, the more difficult it makes me to create jobs. Now, I'm not saying we should have carte blanche and people can destroy the environment and have an unsafe work environment. I mean, no rational person will agree to that, and I want to make that crystal clear. But tax policies are huge. Requirements, work requirements, benefit requirements. I know Obamacare is going to have a huge impact on small employers, large employers, and that's still kind of early to tell, but as recently as 2 weeks ago on City Council, our carrier for the city told us on record that we can expect 10 to 20% insurance premium increases each year for the next 3 years due to Obamacare. And they also said that there are many employers in the area that are looking at dropping coverage for their employees because the fines are going to be cheaper than the actual coverage. Now that is just, to me, we have to do something about that. One of the things I would like to do is, can we create some kind of a co-op or a system where people can pool together? We can get small businesses that can combine their resources and pool together and get value pricing or value discounts, because the more people you have into that, the better discounts you can get. Or can we look at going across state lines? Can we get some kind of a Midwestern coalition with surrounding states, pool our resources there? Open it up for competition, more of a national type, like our auto insurance and homeowners insurance. Those are affordable. And that's another thing, too, we can get up there and just discuss options with other legislators, other states, see what they've done. But the main thing is we have to do something. I want to be proactive and not reactive.
Okay. You mentioned gun rights earlier.
Yes.
Are there any other social issues that are important to you in this election?
Very careful on that. I am a limited government type person. I don't believe government should be legislating morality. I know that's a hot button topic for many people. Until I get up there, if elected, I want to get both sides of those issues. But my fundamental beliefs are to keep government as limited as possible and respect the rights of the individual.
Okay. And lastly, in summation, why should voters choose you on Election Day?
I think voters should choose me. I'm just your average, everyday Jim that's worked hard. I've waited tables. I've worked at a car wash. I've done all kinds of odds and end jobs. I'm living the American dream. I started my own business. The first 3 years of my business, I worked full-time during the winter at a car wash just so I can make payroll. I've been a small business owner for 13 years, started off from basically nothing, currently employ 12 people now. I have survived the last 3.5 years of the most horrible economic climate in 70 years. I know how to create jobs. I have experience. I proved myself in that manner. I have 2 terms as a sitting Seymour City councilman. I have governmental experience and a proven track record of speaking out against government waste, finding efficiencies with government. And I'm not saying we have to get rid of government. That by no means do we do that. We have to have government. But the government we have has to be held accountable to the taxpayers. More government doesn't mean solutions to our problems. More government historically has shown to be more problems. So the government we do have has to be efficient. I don't have all the answers to everything, neither does my opponent, and neither does anybody really. I want people to keep in mind what they're voting on come November 6th is my judgment. My values, and my principles, and they have been on display for many years for people to see, and that's what I'm taking to Indianapolis if elected.